Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the weekend edition of Raw Tropical Living. I'm Jack, and I feel like I'm coming to you from the seventh circle of hell this morning. It is hot. We are in the middle of a heat wave right now. They've said the next 3 days may be the hottest of the summer, so I'm already hydrated. Probably will have some more in a little while, and yeah, just trying to beat the heat today. Today I want to talk, this is interesting talk. I want to talk about the evolutionary expansion of consciousness, quantum theorists and yogis. Listen guys, I do videos every day. If you haven't already done it, please go down there and hit that subscribe button now so you can come back, watch some more content. Be sure you click on the little bell and check send notifications so you'll stay subscribed to the channel. I'm quite sure I'm going to do a few readings from this magazine. I got this last weekend when I was in Pensacola, Light of Consciousness. I had actually been looking for that recently, and I had thought maybe they had gone out of publication. From what I'm seeing, because it says it's a summer edition, I'm assuming it's a quarterly. But I know it's been more than 3 months. But anyhow, I was really happy to get this one. I was going through it, and I actually had to pick between 2 or 3 things that I wanted to share today. But this one I started reading this morning, and I'm like, yeah, I really like that. I really like this one. So this is going to be the one for today, and this is kind of an interesting where quantum theory, you know, kind of goes with the consciousness ideas of the yogis and the sages. So just interesting read I wanted to share with you. Quantum theorists believe there is a force that connects all subatomic particles. The yogis and sages say that unified consciousness is the background of what we essentially are, and that this consciousness seeks to be brought to the foreground. The Vedic sages and yogis of India say that God, or consciousness, is like an endless ocean, and we are merely waves or droplets in that ocean. From the deep waters, waves of our egos emerge, creating the illusion of separateness, which we call I or me. However, as part of the ocean, we are never separate from God, but rather only seemingly fragmented by the illusion of our individual egos and the desires it creates. In the last 100 years, we've made tremendous strides in our development that indicate a hastening of evolution. This is perhaps most evident in the rapid advances in technology, while on the spiritual level, this is revealed in the increase in awakened beings. There's been an ongoing collective expansion of consciousness, and its movement has been toward unity, oneness, and profound interconnectivity. Quantum theorists believe there is a force that connects all subatomic particles. The yogis and sages say that unified consciousness is the background of what we essentially are, and that this consciousness seeks to be brought to the foreground. The transformation was directly revealed to me after many years of meditation, when the background of consciousness unexpectedly shifted. At that time, I did not experience the endless ocean of consciousness, but my individual awareness expanded to where I experienced oneness with all things. I became selfless, truthful, and compassionate within the unity and interconnectivity that I was experiencing. Consciousness is very hard to see in this world of illusion. Within the dream of our limited individual consciousness, we do not see what we truly are. Some yogis call this the true self, which can only be realized through samadhi, superconsciousness, a state of all-pervading oneness and light. The ultimate individual expansion happens in complete surrender and stillness. It is said that once you have discovered the truth, you will see that individual ego consciousness is an illusion. Whatever we observe, we are creating. Within this vast ocean of consciousness, whatever we observe, we are creating. When we pay attention to something, it is seen through the filter of our ego, according to our beliefs and our present state of consciousness. This creates our ever-changing and expanding illusional world within the collective consciousness. According to quantum physics, matter at the subatomic level only exists as potential and does not fully form until it is measured with some degree of awareness or observation through a quantum measurement. This leads me to believe that reality is created by our thoughts through our observation, colored by our beliefs, education, life experiences, and karmic entanglements. There's collective consciousness as well, which is composed of the beliefs, memories, experiences, and potentials of all living beings, individual consciousness, and the interwoven karma. This can also be thought of as an intelligent universal mind, not much different than Carl Jung's definition of collective unconscious, which encompasses the soul of humanity. In either case, it is also expanding, which leads to the expansion of our awareness and perception. The collective consciousness is changing all the time to greater and lesser degrees, such as in the Dark Ages in Europe, when it seemingly regressed, and in our modern age in which consciousness is expanding. As we learn and grow collectively for our evolutionary expansion and the survival of mankind, I believe the barrier to God consciousness breaks down and allows us to perceive more of the ocean of consciousness. Consider the following analogy. As one climbs higher and higher on a mountain, one gains clarity and perspective of the topography below, and former conceptions of the surrounding landscape change. Like the climber, when our consciousness expands, our old beliefs change and we gain a new perspective. Thus we see our old beliefs for the illusions they are. We begin to perceive from a higher vantage point, to recognize that we can create the best course for our soul's growth. Humanity has been opening to higher states of consciousness, which I believe is allowing new awareness where one day we will recognize our essential unity and wholeness. Consciousness is imperceptible, so how can we know if it is expanding? The Yogis say it is through ignorance or unconsciousness that our illusory world is created, and thus we are unable to perceive it. We can see evidence of other forms of consciousness that are hard to perceive and the illusions that are experienced in our world. Consider the alternate reality of our dreams, drug-induced states, the miracles of saints, and the alternate realities reported by shamans and enlightened people. Consider telepathy or channeling from seemingly otherworldly dimensions. These examples give us a small glimpse of alternate forms of consciousness within the vast ocean of which we are not fully aware. This all leaves one to ask, what is reality? According to the Yogis, the illusion of all these realities that are seemingly going on around us is imperceptible, because this is all going on inside of us. Our limited awareness and intellect cannot detect the vastness of the ocean. The truth and the way. The great Vedic yogi Patanjali, in one of his final Yoga Sutras, states, "Then the seamless flow of reality, its transformations colored by the fundamental qualities, begins to break down, fulfilling the true mission of consciousness, which is enlightenment." Patanjali states that consciousness does have a mission and that there is transformation when the ego breaks down, resulting in an openness or expansion of consciousness. I conclude that the mission of the expansion of consciousness is to unite humanity. In the satsang, the peaceful path to enlightenment, Swami Amar Jyoti imparts, "My wish is that you evolve to fulfill the purpose of this life, which is to be a loyal and faithful instrument of God's work, Divine Mother's work, to accomplish His and her will. Enlightenment is always the goal, but this is our mission in the immediate sense. The secret to accomplishing this mission is to expand our consciousness. The earth has to evolve to something higher now, and without expanding consciousness, anything that we do will only be horizontal progression. Expanded consciousness is vertical growth, and that is the next evolution for which we have been waiting for ages. If we unfold our consciousness according to the demands of the next evolution, Mother will pour and is pouring her energy through us. She supplies the Shakti. There are times that come once in ages when tremendous power, strength, and energy are needed, and the source of that power is consciousness. I believe that we are becoming instruments for this mission as more souls awaken and share this knowledge. Then movement toward unified consciousness will accelerate, contributing to the spiritual growth that will support Earth's next evolution. We need to stay ahead of the horizontal expansion of technology and remain diligently aware of the potential dangers that can divide us. In today's global community, we need to come together as one. If we can do this, a powerful consciousness of unity will rise until it floods humanity, exposing the imperfections that conceal the truth of our oneness. This will be the fulfillment of God and Divine Mother's will, Together we can realize humanity's oneness and see that this tiny drop that we call me has never been separate from the vast ocean of being. Pretty deep stuff. I mean, you know, I kind of enjoy expanding the mind with this kind of thing. Something you might do, I do this quite often, which is probably another reason this this particular article caught my mind today. I'm not, listen, I'm not that smart up there in the intellect level, but I'm fascinated by quantum theory, quantum physics, and some of the theories going along with that. And if you ever just want to have an interesting, lazy Saturday night or Sunday afternoon or whenever, go to YouTube and search stuff like quantum theory and consciousness, quantum theory and the Yogis, quantum physics and yoga, quantum physics and consciousness. Just play around with it. You get some really pretty cool videos that will come up. I've seen, there's one particular I think I have on a playlist somewhere that's really good, but interesting stuff, just always, you know, like I say, exploring, reading, trying to find something a little bit interesting for these weekend talks. So I most surely hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you like this one, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see y'all again tomorrow. Peace.